Hello, this is Giselle Gamby, business and life coach and proud host of the Intuitive Pull podcast. We're now pivoting to season 4 with an invitation to raise the stakes. I know I was made to remind people to raise the stakes, to seize, to claim, and execute the vision that you've intuitively seen, and to never accept the crumbs. What would it mean if you raised the stakes in your own life? What would you say yes to? And what would you say an undeniable no to? Be inspired, be agitated, be activated, and most of all, hold this truth, that when you raise the stakes, the quantum field will show you dreams you didn't even know you had. Hello and welcome back to my Best Year Yet Masterclass. This is day 2. So I hope that you enjoyed day 1's masterclass. I hope that it was eye-opening. I hope it was an emotional experience for you, that it was a feeling experience for you, and that you are beginning to appreciate the untapped abundance within you and within who you are, and the depth of experience you have and wisdom you have, and that you are even able to recognize yourself amongst all the people that I spoke about, that I was observing and reflecting upon, who I am currently coaching. I hope that you're able to say, oh my God, yeah, that's me. I can actually accept that. That's who I am, and I can actually be here. So day 2 is about our friend called resistance. When I spoke, or I should say it differently, when I facilitated this day 2 of my Best Year Yet masterclass live with people, there was so much I could have talked about. And I ended up tuning in whilst I was facilitating it to what was the most powerful thing for me to speak to on that live masterclass with the people that I was with. And the subject that we pierced into was about the permission, the self-permission to stand tall. So that's what this day 2 is in service to, the self-permission required to stand tall. And it was really interesting how that masterclass day was created, because the day before I had a session with a one-on-one client, and it was actually a 2-hour session, which really never happens. And the reason why it was so meaty was because we met a blind spot that she didn't know that she had. And it was a blind spot that allowed us to see that every time she stood tall in her power, she had the experience of rejection. And it was really, really, really important for us to see this blind spot, because we've been working with the depth of her experience and wisdom and what it's in service to. In fact, I asked her the question a couple of months ago, through her life experience, she has so worked the muscle of compassion and unconditional love. Like, that is the muscle that she has worked the most. It's almost like nobody could say anything to her where she would not have compassion and she wouldn't have unconditional love. Doesn't mean that she has to accept the situation, but she's not in judgment of it. She's in unconditional love and compassion. And I asked her the question, where is that best placed now? And it was such a powerful question, because where she went to and what she's been successful in creating is that she's going to be a chaplain in the hospice section of hospitals. She's just been accepted to do the training for that, which is so fantastic. So it was absolutely necessary for us to meet that blind spot, because can you imagine going in and seeing that her wealth of unconditional love and compassion has such a place in hospices, at the end of people's lives. And then for her pattern of every time she stands in her power, she has the experience of rejection. I mean, that would just be absolutely counterproductive. And so, I always say process creates itself on our behalf, and process did. Process had us see that blind spot, and it was really initiated because of an experience she had a year ago, and it will be the anniversary of that this Sunday, where she did stand in her power and she experienced rejection, and and it was a painful rejection. And so that ache, let's say, that turned up because the anniversary was just around the corner, had such an intelligence because we got to see what we got to see. And then, of course, that was energetically connected to day 2 of the live masterclass, which I'm now re-recording for you because I wanted to protect the privacy of the sharing that happened with those people. So this is about your self-permission to stand tall and having a honest discussion with yourself, both from a rational perspective, but also allowing the intuitive process to show you of where there is resistance in you standing tall, in your power, in you standing tall in the values that are important to you, in you standing tall in your authenticity, in you standing tall in all of your genius zones. So it's a really, really important conversation in the context of having this feeling that this next year is going to be one of the best ones that you've had so far. So really, really important. So let's talk about all the different expressions of resistance. I could be here speaking to you for days about this and taking on so many different processes, but I'm not going to. I'm going to go with one particular process, but just for your education, here are some expressions of resistances. So I've already used the word blind spot. We have blind spots. I became very connected to the idea that we have blind spots in June 2022. One of my clients said she was going to do a retreat, and I said, I'm coming. Bit weird, me going to a client's retreat. However, we are also peers and very, very dear friends. And I didn't know what I was going to that retreat for. I don't know why that I said, I'm coming. And I was going, unbeknownst to me at the time, because a massive blind spot that I'd buried under the carpet for almost all of my life, that was creating judgment and separation in my life, reared its head, and it was really uncomfortable, really, really, really uncomfortable. But the freedom that I now have and the unconditional love that I now have and the connection that I now have was absolutely worth it. So we have blind spots. So I am welcoming those blind spots in this process of this masterclass to show themselves to you. And also in between these recordings and also, going forward in your life, I'm welcoming those blind spots to show themselves. And see, the thing is, when we have not met our blind spots, we put thresholds on how loving, on how powerful and how deserving we can be. It's just the way it is. So we have blind spots and thresholds. We also have frustrations. And don't poo-poo frustration, because frustration is a really powerful force if held in love. In fact, I have spoken about many times with clients and on the Intuitive Pool podcast, the podcast that I have, about the sacred nature of frustration. Frustration is a very creative force, not if held in judgment and fear, but if held in love. And so is intolerance. Intolerance, divine intolerance, is it doesn't mess around. It doesn't mince words. It's there to bring love into our lives, more authenticity, more honesty into our lives, more alignment, more congruence. That's what it's there to bring. So intolerance shows us where we're misaligned and what is not congruent and where we're out of integrity. So do not poo-poo intolerance either. Frustration and intolerance are, they're strands of resistance, but held in love, they're powerful forces of nature. And then this final piece of resistance that will then take us into a process, which is the resistance of vulnerability and the stories that we tell ourselves of, in the context of standing tall. Who am I to? It's not really my place to. I remember having this really profound experience. I think it was about 2017 or 18, where the coach that I'd been working with for quite a few years, I'd never met his wife. Oh, no, I had met his wife, like a hello and a goodbye, and that was about it. And all of a sudden, I started receiving intuition about her, and it was like, I don't want this. This is inappropriate. This is my coach's wife. And it felt extremely vulnerable, and I absolutely did not feel like I had the right to be receiving this information. And so I shared that with my coach, not because I wanted to then coach his wife, but because I wanted to offload this heaviness that I was feeling, that I had received this information and I didn't think I had the right or the place. And he said the most profound thing to me. And it's actually the reason why I ended up coaching with him for the next 6 years. He said, because I was saying to him, like, this, I'm crossing boundaries here. I don't want to cross his boundaries. I don't have the right. And he said to me, how could God, talking to God, ever be a boundary crossed? Wow. Wow. And he said, everything that you've said is spot on about her, and you must speak with her. And when I spoke with her, she said to me, my guru sent you to me. And we coached for 2 years. And I have so many stories like that where I have received some information that I feel is extremely challenging to share with people, including people that I'm currently coaching. And had I not shared that information, life would have not gone in a very good direction for them. And when I have shared it with them, the gratitude that they have had for me sharing that has been beyond. So this is really what I want to focus in on day 2 of this masterclass. So I'm going to give you a little bit of background before we go into this next meditation. So today is the 27th of September, 2024, and on the 22nd of August this year, I took my 90-year-old mum back to her hometown in Switzerland for the last time. And my son, Joel, who's 18, came with me, and it was an experience of, it was a privilege, and it was also really heartbreaking on many occasions, as my mum really faced into, I guess, her mortality and the fact that the acceptance that we were just able to get her there this time. And we can never say no, never, but more than likely, I don't believe Mum will be back. and that means she won't see, excuse me, some older remaining cousins. And anyway, it was heartbreaking on many occasions, and it was beautiful and joyful, and we laughed to the point that we wet our pants on other occasions. It was amazing. So I went for 2 weeks, and then I came home, and my son and my mum stayed on for another 2 weeks. And my mum was looked after by family in the 2 weeks that I was gone, and my son went off and solo traveled for about 13 days. And we were in France at this point, and I took my son to the bus stop one morning to get the bus to Geneva Airport to then go solo traveling. And when I said goodbye to him, my God, I felt such an ache. The ache was enormous. It wasn't because I was scared for him. He's responsible. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's street smart. I wasn't worried about him. I guess it was just this mother, son, that invisible string of connection, of love. Oh, the ache was really full on. So what I did was I went and walked with that ache. I went into the forest, and I walked and I walked, and I think I walked for about 2 hours with this ache. And what I did was, as I've already shared with you, writing is a massive part of my life. I write these notes to self, but because I was walking, I couldn't write. But what I did was I took my phone and I voice recorded in notes, which then transcribed what I was saying. I wrote a massive note to self. And that note to self was catalyzed by the ache. And it was an acknowledgement of a lot of my humanity, a lot of thoughts and feelings. I went to all the different places. And then I heard God speak to me. God, the universe, speak to me. And God said, "Come out, come out. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. Come out, come out." And it was really, striking and demanding what I was hearing. And what that then took me down the path of was a level of self-honesty that I had not allowed myself to have until that moment. Now, in the early days of Facebook, I used to write and share my writings just because it gave me joy to. And back in the old Facebook days, there were pages and we didn't have to pay for those posts to go out. And I had this beautiful page. It was called Dared to Be Remarkable at the time. Then it changed to my name, and now it's From My Heart to Yours. However, really, I am not active in there anymore, but you're very welcome to go and check out From My Heart to Yours, because there's some incredible writings that I have done there over the years, incredible writings. And I think, there's probably like 3,000 fans or something like that. And then in 2013, I decided to attach some coaching offerings to those writings. And then really from then, that's how people came on board with me, from what I shared in my writings. And then how people came on board with me was then through really being graced through referrals from current clients or work clients that I've been working with. And I really had a freedom within me to share whatever I shared in writing. I had such a freedom within me. But in this walking around the forest, as I said, I came into a level of self-honesty that I'd not allowed myself to have until that moment in the forest, catalyzed by the ache. And that was that over probably the past 3 or 4 years, I've actually been quite shy on social media. And I inquired why. And there were 2 reasons. Actually, there were 3 reasons, but I'm just going to speak to one of them. Some of the things that I shared were that a lot of the people that I worked with, sometimes I knew, sometimes I didn't know, began with me on antidepressants. And then all of the people that worked with me that were on antidepressants came off them. Not because I told them to, I never gave any advice, but because they told me that that's what they had done with themselves. And the reason why they had done that with themselves is because they came into a place of self-trust and they were no longer afraid of their emotional experience. They were no longer afraid of their feelings, and they knew that their feelings were there to actually support them, as I explained around intolerance and frustration. And let me say that all the people that have come off antidepressants over the years are very well and thriving. Now, sometimes I shared stories of clients, and then I would say in what I just shared with you. Now, what happened when I shared that was I got slammed. I got slammed by strangers. I got slammed by friends. I had people friends call me and say how irresponsible I was. I had a school acquaintance that I hadn't seen since I went to high school just write absolute filth on posts, and it was really only when I was walking around the forest in Chamonix in France that I became aware that I had been cowering the last 3 or 4 years. And so, of course, I received that command, come out, come out. It's time to stand tall. It's time to claim your place. And yes, I have the freedom to do that now. I am free once again. Now, when I came home, I was delivering a session for a group that I'm coaching called Sacred Leaders, which are people that I've coached for a long time. It's a graduate group. And I recorded a meditation to that theme, come out, come out. Now, this meditation is the most self-expressed meditation I have ever done. It's like, who is that girl? And, to the point that when I shared it with the Sacred Leaders, I had somebody message me afterwards and say, that was amazing. Thank you. Thank you. And I've never heard your voice like that. It was like the cry of a newborn baby released into the world saying, I'm here and I have a lot to share. And so I'm going to share this meditation with you now. And I trust that it will be just what the doctor ordered. And so I will see you on the other side of that meditation with another leading statement for you to go and write your next note to self, whether that be a paragraph, 2 paragraphs, or pages, it doesn't matter. Enjoy the meditation. Closing your eyes and taking a few deep breaths in and out as you become present to this meditation. Allowing your focus to be fully here. Allowing what has happened before this meditation to stay there in the past. And anything that your focus needs attention in the future to be put to side just for the next few moments. becoming present to your belly area, your power center. Feeling your personal agency in your power center. Feeling what it's like to decide and to choose and to claim. Feeling what it's like to take 100% personal responsibility. Remembering those times where you engaged your personal agency and your unconditional self-responsibility, bringing that back to mind. A moment in your history that was a significant game changer. And anchoring that feeling in your body now. You know what that feels like. Anchoring it into your body. And then taking your attention to your heart center. And remembering the why of that historical moment where you engaged your personal agency and took unconditional self-responsibility. Remembering your why. Why did you choose that for yourself? Feeling the love in that decision. Feeling the self-worth, the self-trust. And whatever else was part of that experience, and anchoring it into your heart space now. And then moving up to your crown chakra. Once again, remembering that historical moment that was indeed a game changer, that significantly changed your life for the better. And remembering that moment where you let go of control and you surrendered the how. And you placed your trust in the process, knowing that the plan was one in the long run that was much bigger than you could ever have anticipated through your human self. Remembering the grandeur of that creation. That creation that was directed by you, acted upon by you, and was surrendered up to God, to God's plans, to God's orchestration, to God's administration. Making the creation better than you could ever have expected. Remembering that feeling of wonder and awe and reverence, and anchoring that into your body now. Taking a big, beautiful breath of gratitude for who you already are, for who you became as a result of that experience. And breathing out. Taking another big deep breath in, but this time we're breathing in the new. We're breathing in who you are becoming. And we're breathing out huge trust and faith in the process. And now listen to these words. These words that speak to the theme of sacred leadership in September 2024. Come out, God commanded. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. It's time to raise the stakes. What is this quantum reality shift you can see? Come out, God commanded. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. It's time to raise the stakes. What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. There is no time to hide, nor to be shy. Get honest with your resistance and let go. Let go. What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. There is no time to hide, nor to be shy. Get honest with your resistance. And let go. Let go. What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. Engage your personal agency. Embrace the fire. What do you choose? What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. Engage your personal agency. Embrace the fire. What do you choose? What is this quantum reality shift you see? come out, God commanded. The thresholds are gone. Your capacity to love has grown. What do you see? What do you claim? What do you execute? What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. The thresholds are gone. Your capacity to love has grown. What do you see? What do you claim? What do you execute? What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. It's time to raise the stakes. What is this quantum reality shift you see? Come out, God commanded. It's time to claim your place. It's time to stand tall. It's time to raise the stakes. What is this quantum reality shift you see? As we come to completion on this meditation, allow the energy of this transmission to remain with you, to move you, to direct you, to act upon. To reach into and to create. Godspeed with all you do. May you be in your unapologetic, sacred leadership. Always remembering what the point and the purpose of that sacred leadership is. And now moving your body around, feeling your chest proud and open, feeling your feet on the ground and your connection to all that is, and breathing in a massive breath of trust and faith and knowing. And breathing out a breath of letting go and surrender. And in your own time, when you're ready, opening your eyes. So I hope that that was an incredible experience for you. And I'm going to leave you now on day 2 with this leading statement for you to go and write your own note to self. And this is the leading statement. The quantum reality shift I couldn't see until now is. The quantum reality shift I couldn't see until now is. Enjoy. See you tomorrow.